What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, guys. So, here's the Warhammer part of Double Feature Friday. Okay, this looked interesting, though. This is a tanker's view of the Baneblade tank. And this is by a tanker's view. Okay, so this seems really interesting. I think these guys actually know tanks, and they just, review, fictional tanks to see how much they measure up to the real thing. Alright, so they're looking at the Baneblade. Alright, so let's get started here, and go.
Welcome back to the Grim Derpness of the 42nd Millennium.
Did you say Grim
Last
Derpness?
video on the Lehman Russ, you made it very loud and clear that you wanted me and my Blood Angels hoodie to take on the Baneblade Super Heavy Tank next. So let's pump that algorithm up and get a tanker's view of the Baneblade.
Baneblade ready for new orders. The Emperor speaks through these guns.
So as I start this video, I'd like to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you who subscribed over the last 2 weeks. You left some wonderful comments and made my Lehman Russ video the most popular video I've ever put on YouTube.
Ooh, the Lehman
So
Russ
to
tank,
all
huh?
of you, each and
I have to
every
look
one
at
of
that
you,
one, too.
Thank you. The Emperor protects. If you're not subscribed, I'd still love if you would. And give me the old thumbs up, maybe leave me a comment down below.
I'd like for you guys to
myself,
subscribe
Felix, on the
also
way,
to
let's
my
do exactly
shorts
what
channels and my game
the
channel.
Baneblade.
Cool
And
stuff
boy,
over there,
howdy,
link in the
we've got a lot
description.
to cover. I'm going to begin by saying this is all in fun. Only my own personal opinion based on my time as a tank crewman. We all know 40k lore is inconsistent from novel to novel,
Yep.
and even codices. So I'm
Yep.
just going to look at the Baneblade overall, interject my opinions. on how
Inconsistent as
practical I think it
hell.
may be from my own perspective. I'm going to miss probably a bunch of points you're all going to point out to me in the comments down
well,
below.
there goes
You know
that.
what? That's fine.
There goes that
I'm
city.
just trying to keep the
Oh,
runtime
that's
down
what's
for
his
you.
name?
So with all of that out of the way, let's praise the
Commissar
Holy God Emperor of
Yarrick, I think his
mankind
name.
and have some fun. The Baneblade is the premier super heavy tank of the Imperium, conceived of during the Dark Age of technology, and it may be the oldest STC ever recovered by the Mechanicus. Of course, the tech priests of Mars will covet this STC with every steel tentacle at their disposal. It's only produced on 3 worlds: Mars, Lucius, and Esteban 7. Mars apparently produces the only true Baneblade, all as a considered counterfeit because they are slightly larger, slightly heavier, and a little bit slower because of the inferior ores that the Forge Worlds actually receive outside of Mars. So rare, so valuable are these massive behemoths that they're typically reserved for regimental commanders as mobile command bases. Given the sheer size and mass of these things, it seems like less of a tank and more of a mobile battle fortress.
Like the
Not
Rata,
Bolo.
conceived
But
of in World War II.
mankind, and by extension the Imperium of Man, have never been one for subtlety, have they?
No.
Most armored regiments are fortunate to have a single Baneblade within their ranks. If they're extremely fortunate on a Forge World, they may
Imperial
have a company
subtlety.
of 5. But deep in the Imperium's history, there may have been whole divisions of these behemoths. But as time and the Imperium have marched inexorably forward, these numbers have dwindled, turning its premier fighting tank into nothing more than a prestige weapon. But who knows, in the future, maybe Belisarius Skull's got a bunch of these hidden away somewhere, like he did with those 100,000 Space Marines. Moving on, I'm going to try to focus on the Mars pattern specs, only because I don't want this video to become an hour long. Most of the pictures are probably going to be the Lucius pattern or other patterns, but there's only so much art to go around. Weighing in at 316 tons, this thing is larger
Jeez.
and heavier than any tank ever built today, even during the ridiculousness of the Cold War. Its closest real-world analog would be the Panzerkampfwagen 8 Maus, clocking
Yep,
in
the
at
Maus
88
tank.
tons, 10.2 meters
Completely
long,
useless, dude.
3.71
Too
meters wide,
heavy.
and 3.63 meters high.
Slow as hell.
500 millimeters ground clearance. Now the Baneblade is thick, 3
Thick.
C's thick,
Extra thick.
with 13.5 meters long, 8.4 meters wide, and 6.3
English!
meters tall. This thing is literally the size of a medium house, and she holds just as many crew to boot, with 10 being needed to run this thing at maximum efficiency. It's got a ground
Jeez.
clearance of 1.2 meters, and on the Lucy's pattern, speaking of, what the F is this? Why are you seeking to intentionally negate your ground clearance with all this trash along the skirts here? What is going on? Like I said, moving on, this thing moves from 18 to 25 kilometers per hour and is powered by a multi-fuel V18 power plant. Again, it will run on remotely anything
Magic
combustible.
techno monkey
Probably even
meddling.
salamander piss, really.
Fucking live.
Anyways, now, I'm not sure if this is lore accurate. Emperor knows I've spent several days searching, but it's rumored during the Dark Age of technology, this thing was a scout tank? I really don't know if that
scout
would
tank?
work, as it's
Jesus.
stored in the Imperium's next biggest war machines, the Imperial Knight and Warhound Titan. But unless there's an undiscovered yet STC, I can't see this being the case due to its lack of speed and maneuverability. Before
Yeah.
you wildly start typing at me in the comments, I searched high and low on Reddit, Mexicanum, 40K Fandom, and 1D4chan. And you know what everyone's told me? No one can give me a concrete answer, no one could agree, and 40K lore is more than frustratingly complex at times, and it makes corroborating these claims very difficult.
Yep.
Therefore, it's my opinion, at this time, short of any other evidence, that there's no way this can perform the role of a scout tank due to its maximum speed of 25 kilometers per hour and the fact that it's as large as a house. Because this is what we call in the industry being as stealthy as a boner in a room full of women. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, there are minor variations with the Lucius pattern, mostly being 3 tons heavier and having a slightly larger power pack, with added cooling, exhaust, and transmissions to compensate for the added mass. Even though Mars is never really going to allow for side-by-side testing to prove its inferiority or superiority, it's nice to see in the 42nd millennium that export models of tanks are still being potentially degraded to Horde industry secrets.
Okay, what does that say?
However, the Baneblade, even the counterfeit ones, their armor is still potent enough to turn away anything
What the
except
hell?
the most dedicated of anti-armor weapons from the glass
What video is this?
and the flanks at an oblique angle. It's stated even a Tau hammerhead would require 3 precise shots in the same location to pierce its armor. That's not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination, and requires a very talented gunner. Now, it's tough to punch even through the glacis plate or flanks of a tank today. That's why we try not to aim there. We aim for turret rings, the roof, if we've got top attack munitions, or anywhere we can trap a shot or the armor is dead flat. Now, packing more firepower than your average South Texas household,
Jeez,
the
man.
Baneblade comes festooned in weapons. The most obvious being its 10-meter long mega battle cannon. Now, try as I may to find a bore size for this, no one mentioned it,
Bore.
so I'm going to assume for the sake of this video it's 120
22
millimeters,
rounds, huh?
same as the battle cannon, but 5 extra meters longer to increase its muzzle velocity, accuracy, penetration power, and range. It's double-jacketed,
penetration.
pepper-boxed inside with ports to allow for the exhaust gases to be vented in between shots. This surprisingly logical thinking for G-Dubs.
Fire is the hot excess
Must have
gas
had an
being
armor
vented by the
enthusiast on
extreme.
payroll a
Yeah.
long time. What happened, G-Dubs? The reason I am pointing this out because it's the same reason we have fume extractors on tanks today. It's to suck all those super hot gases out so when we're loading the next round in, it doesn't cook off in
explode.
our hands.
Doesn't
The
explode.
Mega Battle Cannon fires a 1 meter long spin and fin stabilized rocket propelled ammunition with a solid propellant charge. Inside it is a coax autocannon which ranges for the main gun using tracer rounds. I find this interesting because all the Auspex arrays are in the searchlight and apparently linked to every gun. So I'm assuming the ranging is for when the gun is in degraded mode. Now the main gun is backed up by the massive Demolisher cannon, firing a similar but larger shell with a tandem warhead, comprising both of a fragmentation shell and a shaped penetrator inside, utilizing the same principle as the Mega Battle cannon, but with an effective range of about 1 kilometer. So
Okay.
someone at G-Dub saw a picture of a Sturmpanzer once and said, hey, you know what that thing needs? More guns.
More gun.
Adding to the
More
already
DACA.
obscene levels of firepower. This thing comes with 2 sponsons with twin-link heavy bolters, 2 turrets with las cannons on top of those sponsons, and then a bow-mounted twin-link heavy bolter up front. This thing packs as much firepower as a veteran squad of Terminators and maneuvers just as well. And
Yeah.
as a little aside here, a few comments mentioned that sponsons, there's a reason we kick them off tanks in our own world, but in 40K, they engage hordes and hordes of soft targets, more than a standard coax or a pintle-mounted machine gun requires today. And there's only so much room to put RWS systems on a tank. So making it a little bigger and adding sponsons makes sense within its own universe, which is why I don't tend to pick on it too much, even though it does potentially weaken the armor. Looking inside this thing is absolutely insane. Despite its absolutely massive size, room is at a premium when riding in one, as is typical of most armored fighting vehicles even today. Most space is occupied by
Skulls?
ordnance, equipment, and etc., comprising of 3, yes, count them,
Why the
3
skulls?
fighting decks, gunnery, command, and the lower deck, complete with bunk beds, but exactly 0 room for activities. Well, because if you're going to build a tank the size of a house, why not bring the bedroom with you, right? And the interior resembles less of a battle tank and more of a battleship. Again, given the size, not surprising. But what blows my mind on this is that there are bulkhead doors in between every compartment to reduce the risk of a blowout in case of a hull breach. G-Dubs, thinking again. Awesome. But then again, I'm reminded this was built and designed during the
Wait. What does that say? All of this still is not nearly 1/10 of 1/10 of a percent enough DACA This is why they put sponsons on dang near everything. Yeah.
Awesome. But then again, I'm reminded this was built and designed during a time when humanity allegedly had more than an inkling of what they were doing when it came to armor design. The crew is broken up into roughly their own compartments with box between them. Pretty standard on any tank. I wouldn't expect it to change any time in the future. We do the same thing in our vehicles. We all communicate by radio. We compartmentalize all the crew in their own station.
Okay.
Now, given this thing's
Oh, that's
size,
cool.
I really
Void
am
shield.
surprised it doesn't possess an ion shield generator a la Imperial Knight to prevent top-down attacks. Or maybe it really does, and no one's got the right litany of awakening to turn it on. And finally, and while you're all here, my conclusion. The Baneblade is the Imperium's wrath and warfighting philosophy made manifest. Slow, massive, inexorable, and overly gunned. But without constant close-in support and air superiority, this thing is a massive, massive target.
Yes.
In single combat, it finds...
That's why the Rata was
few
completely
points.
impractical.
But war is never single combat, even in 40K. Well, mostly. But that's negating the exception.
Am I?
in
Scott
our
Scary,
career.
that's a joke
The
to you.
Baneblade is too slow, too ungainly for frontline service without the aforementioned support. This vehicle wouldn't even be suited for rear service with quick reaction forces because it can't keep up. Outside of very specialized roles, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, even within its own universe. But our lives are the Emperor's currency, and he will spend it how he wishes in his divine wisdom. It can't
Fuck the
keep pace
Emperor,
with
he's
a
an
Rust,
idiot.
a Chimera or a Land Raider, and most of its weapons are shorter range. Now, it becomes a liability as it falls behind any advance or slows any advance to a crawl as it putters along at a crisp 18 to 25 kilometers per hour. I really think college
Provided it
probably
doesn't
solved this
sink, it
issue.
gets stuck in
Maybe
the
put down
ground.
the Sentai collection and get on this.
Okay, wait.
Collection per hour. I really think college should probably solve this issue. Maybe put down the Sentai collection and get on this.
Heresy detected. Heresy.
And with that statement, I'm going to go report to my local commissar for processing into a servitor. Anyway, guys, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below.
This is
And
good.
I will see you
That's
on
good
the next
analysis.
one.
Yeah. Ooh, the F-35 Lightning too, huh? Alright, so there you go, guys. That's a tanker's view on the Baneblade. Yeah, basically the same problems the Mouse had and the theory of the Rata tank. That's actually a pretty cool thing. That thing actually would have made the Baneblade tank, it would have made it look like wah in comparison. That was bigger. That was conceived of in reality, and it was bigger than the Baneblade. You know, it's like that thing would have been like 3 Baneblades attached to each other. That's what the Rata was meant to be. But it was completely impractical. There was no way to get it from one place to another. It was a completely stupid idea, just like the Baneblade is. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Definitely, okay, boom. Yeah. Subscribe to A Tanker's View. This guy, he doesn't have even 5K subs, guys, so click on the link to the original, subscribe to him. Help him grow, and like the original video. I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.